stood by the cross of Jesus.
Yeah.
His mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clovis, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing by,
Come on, preacher.
he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour, that disciple took her to her home. May the Lord bless that reading and hearing of his holy and inspired word. The second word from the cross was a word of salvation. We heard the first word that Jesus spoke, and that was a word of forgiveness. Now we hear the third word that Jesus uttered from the cross. And it can be defined as a word of affection. The scene had been set.
Come on, preacher.
The soldiers were having a dice game at the foot of the cross. They were only concerned about themselves. Jesus' mother, his aunt, Mary, the wife of Clovis, and Mary Magdalene. They had gathered at the foot of the cross. Jesus, he saw his mother. And he saw the disciple that he loved standing near her. And he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And the Bible tells us that from that hour, the disciple took her to his own home as his own mother. Church, what do we see happening here? Well, what has happened at the cross is that the cross has broadened and expanded the concept of family. It has gone from being flesh and blood to the family of God. We do know that Jesus had other siblings. But it was John, the beloved disciple, that he entrusted his mother's care. You got to remember that the members of Jesus' family, they had distanced themselves from Jesus. All right. We all know how family you can pick your family, but you can't pick your friend. Family had distanced themselves from Jesus. They whispered among themselves that Jesus had a problem. Jesus was a little touched in the head. Jesus might have been a little arrogant for their king. And so it was that they had a problem believing who their older brother really was. But Mary had a conversation. She had had a conversation with an angel that caused her to say, "As it is, so it is." And so Mary believed in her son. She believed that that allows Jesus to bind them together.
All right.
Behold your mother. Behold your son. Jesus hanging on a cross between heaven and hell changes the very foundation of relationship. It had gone from being based on natural bloodline to being based on faith and spirituality. Beneath the cross on that dark, dark Friday, the beloved disciple and Mary, they both lost something. They lost the physical presence of a friend and a son. However, all was not lost. Because they also gained something that time. They gained the fellowship that was forged at the foot of the cross. Mary may have lost the son on the cross, but she gained another son. And the beloved disciple gained the mother. Jesus in his ministry, he announced, he said, I tell you the truth. No one has left home. Nobody has given up brothers or sisters. Nobody has given up mother or father. Nobody has left field or business or any of that other stuff. And the gospel will fail to receive 3 to 6 to 9 to 100-fold if you just follow me. Not only now, but in the age to come. So as I come to a close, at the